For over 10 years, commercial jerky treats for dogs, primarily those imported from China, have been causing dogs to become seriously unwell and even killing them by damaging their kidneys. And you can't always trust the bold, locally made claims on packaging because that can include imported ingredients. But that doesn't mean that jerky is off the menu for your dogs. Chicken jerky makes a super tasty treat that your dog is going to go crazy for. It's simple and quick to make at home, and that's what we're going to do today. And it really couldn't get much easier than this. So we need a cutting board, a sharp knife, and a chicken breast. And the first thing we're going to do is going to sharpen our knife because it's going to make it so much easier to get those really thin jerky strips. So once that's done, we're simply going to take our chicken and we're going to slice it with the grain because that's going to make the jerky so much more chewy for your dog and so enjoyable. The trick here is to actually have your chicken breasts partly frozen because it's going to hold together and it's going to make sure that you can get those really thin strips much more easily. Now I'm using chicken breast. You can use tenderloins here as well. You want to be removing any skin, any real fatty bits from the chicken. And you can see I'm cutting these really thin. Right, so that's going to do just the job. The chicken's prepared. So I'm going to get a baking tray with some grease-proof paper. And then we're just going to lay the chicken out on that. So there's no need to season these with anything, simply a case then of popping them in a preheated oven at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 degrees Celsius. We'll leave those in there for about 2 hours. Now, if your slices are a bit thicker, it may take a little bit longer. We want them to be nice and dry, but not super crispy and brittle. We still want a little bit of chew there for your dog. Okay, so our 2 hours is up. We're going to get those jerky treats out of the oven and just pop them on a wire rack. And what you should find is that they are not too crunchy. They're still a little bit kind of rubbery to feel, but they are completely dry. If you think yours are still a little bit kind of too soft, then pop them back in the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes maybe. It really depends on how thickly you've cut these. But now you want to take them off. They should peel away quite nicely from that baking paper. And then we want to cut them into bite-sized pieces. And the best way to do this is actually to use a pair of scissors rather than a knife. And then what I suggest you do is you pop them in a Ziploc bag or an airtight container. These will keep in the fridge for about 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how dry you've made them. And they'll keep in the freezer for at least 8 months. And next you need to check out how to make these irresistible tuna baked treats that your dog will go crazy for. They're fantastic for training, so click on that video. But until then, I'm Dr. Alex. This is Our Pets Health, because they're family.